only for workers. Now we move on to another major development of the day, where the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has hailed the vital role by Qatar in winning the release of a British couple held by Taliban authorities in Afghanistan. He welcomed the release of Peter Reynolds and his wife Barbie, who had been detained in February, by saying this long-awaited news will come as a huge relief to them and their family. Let's take a listen in to what the family of the couple had to say.
I'm overwhelmed with gratitude and relief that we have our parents back after their incomprehensible detention by the Taliban. This is a moment of immense joy for our family, and we are deeply thankful to everyone who played a role in securing their release. I especially want to express my heartfelt appreciation to His Highness the Emir of Qatar for his leadership and compassion.
Now we move back to Europe, where Ukraine is making progress in its talks with the United States and European allies to formalise binding security guarantees as part of its efforts to end the war with Russia. The First Deputy Foreign Minister, Minister Kyslytsia, emphasised that US support remains crucial despite strong European backing. Let's take a listen in to what he said.
I think that we are making progress, and I may agree with those who say that the progress is not enough or not as expedient as we would wish it to be, but we do make progress. And I think that the breakthrough moment was during the meeting in Washington, D.C., when the Americans, President Trump himself, reconfirmed that the Americans would be part of the security guarantees.
As Ukraine faces mounting pressure from Russian forces in the east and south, Kyiv is intensifying strikes on Russia's energy infrastructure using long-range drones. Kyslytsia warned European allies that Russian aggression will not stop at Ukraine's borders, urging them to take bold decisions to ensure their own security. Okay, we're now joined by our guest, Scott Faulkner. He's the head of Eagle Enterprises, a security firm, joining us live from Washington, D.C. in the United States. Thank you very much, Scott, for joining us here on the programme. Scott, when it comes to peace in Ukraine, why is US support considered indispensable, even with a strong European backing?
The key is that the United States is viewed as the bellwether. It is still viewed as the biggest world power. And to have the U.S. not involved in either discussions or a solution probably would basically stop the solution from being implemented or lasting. The big concern is that Trump continues to be less than aggressive with Putin, and a lot of people are still concerned that for some reason the United States is not being as aggressive as it should be on sanctions, not being as aggressive as it should be on disrupting Russia's oil, except through secondary tariffs. But America, being literally the titular head of NATO, the biggest world power, that it has to be on the chessboard somewhere.
Yes, indeed, Scott. And do you think, of course, you've mentioned and cited Trump's some people would find alarming closeness to Putin. How realistic is it that Washington will commit to a long-term security assurance, given the US's domestic politics right now?
At this point, I think that any security assurances will probably be there in writing. If there's any boots on the ground, such as a security buffer or other or no-fly zones, I think that Trump would be depending on his other NATO allies in Europe to actually implement that frontline solution. I do not see America committing troops or air power to either no-fly zones or to a buffer.
Yes, Scott, thank you very much. Do stay with us. We have further updates. Finland's